What's going on, guys? Welcome to Revolver Live, the gaming podcast that says forget the past. The future belongs to the nerds. I'm the Beastly Gamer, and god damn it feels good to be here.
I forgot to play the theme song, Beastly.
Huh? You forgot the song?
I forgot the song.
Ah, Briar. I don't know what to say about you, okay?
I'm going to blame it on Frame Ripper.
There's nothing left
Frame
for you to
Ripper.
do tonight. The Revolver Podcast, Mama Hot Flash, Crew is Hot. Always doing you right. With a first take on gaming weekly, PCs, consoles, and handhelds. Geeky. Bump what you heard since birth on this earth. We know that the future belongs to the nerds.
Let's
Revolver
go!
Live. What it is, everybody.
That's my favorite part. Let's go!
Yeah, I appreciate it, even though it's the end of the song. But yeah, it's meant to get people excited.
Yeah, man, and it does. It totally does. I love that fucking song, man.
I'm going to revise that song, so you guys be looking out for that probably within the next couple of weeks. A few changes have taken place.
You're gonna revise, or you're gonna remix?
Ooh! We'll do it chopped and screwed. Okay, before we get started with the introductions, Revolver Live would like to thank all the amazing men and women of the United States services that have fought, sacrificed, and paid the ultimate price for our freedom. Thank you all, and God bless you from Revolver Live. And of course,
except for you, Tommy.
You fucked up, Tommy.
You fucked up.
We're not going to get into Tommy's story. Briar, it's been over a week, man. It's been what? It's been a week and a day?
Yeah, I mean, almost a week and a half. I mean, it's Tuesday.
Week and 2 days.
Yeah.
Horrible. We did take off, of course, for the holiday weekend. But we had to reschedule because we all felt that waiting till next Sunday would be sacrilege because we know we can't get that long without being in each other's company.
That's true.
I want to know what you guys have been up to. How's your week been, Brian?
Dude, it's been pretty good, man. It's been busy. I've been, doing the photo shoot thing again. So
that's been very busy.
That's real busy. And then, just regular stuff as well. But I got to say, the weather has finally turned in Connecticut. So I feel like I got rained on 2 to 3 times a week, every week for the last 3 months. This week, it's been beautiful. I can't keep myself inside. I just want to keep going outside, right? It's just it's beautiful. It's high 80s, nice and dry, no humidity. Oh, man, it's just gorgeous. Yeah. At the end of the winter, you almost feel like you're like a solar fuel cell or a solar battery that just needs to recharge in the sun, Oh, man, I want to do the Dark Souls thing and just praise the sun all day long.
I haven't played that game, but yeah, I understand where you're coming from. But living down in the South, it's been that way for a fucking while.
I got a dream, Beastly, of someday I'm going to convince my wife of this. She's not on board yet, but I'm going to convince my wife that I want to move my office into the garage. I want to clear out the garage and move my studio office into the garage and use the whole garage as a studio, right? And on really nice days, you just open that fucking garage door right up. Just have that. It'd be like an open air office.
I can tell you exactly how you can do it, and I can guarantee you it'll work. Because I know that, the home environment...
She listens to the show, so be careful.
This can be a very contentious environment. Women are the homemakers. They like things to be laid out specifically the way that they want them, especially in the house. Usually for the man, the garage is kind of the man cave, man type of area. So we did a show a few months ago about talking to your wife, and what would you say to convince her to bring another woman into the relationship?
Yes, I can confirm that we did not come up with a valid argument.
Absolutely, we didn't. We failed on that challenge. But that should be your opener. Just talk to Miss Rabbit and say, hey, look, I love you, and I want you to know that I'm a person who's filled with tons and tons of love.
All right. And, so you're saying, Beastly, start by asking for a 3-way, and when she says no, well, then say, well, how about the garage then?
Yeah.
He's going to say, I love you. I need the garage, but all she's going to hear is, I love you. You can't park your car in here no more.
That's a great analogy there, Wilson.
That's all she's going to hear. And she's going to be like, okay.
Here, Mr. Rabbit.
She's going to be like, you have about 5 more seconds to humor me before I walk the fuck away.
But it works, though.
Yeah, that adds up.
And so much love, then say, well, at least give me enough room for my love. How about the garage? Let me just sit in there and permeate with love in the garage. Let me move some of that shit out of there and sit there and fill it with love. Mm-hmm. And she might say, well, it sounds better than another woman. Take the fucking garage.
I did a video this week of I just wanted to shoot the new computer. I built a new computer for Frame Ripper. And I just wanted to kind of go through it and kind of show everybody like what was up with it. And to do that, I had to like basically rearrange the entire office, right? It's not just like moving a camera, moving some lights. It's like to move the light, you got to move the desk, you got to move this, you got to move that, because everything's like, it's like puzzle pieces in here to make everything fit. And then if you move anything, so I really want that garage. So much more room for activities. It'll be great.
You know what? I actually do know what you mean because I'm in my office, which used to be a garage.
Oh, you're living the dream.
Man, it's great. I'm telling you, it's amazing. So I hope that works out for you. I'm just really, really happy to see you guys. I really missed you guys. And hopefully, Brian, the next couple of weeks you're able to take a break. We talked pre-show. I know it's been tough on you.
I got pretty lucky, man. I got the man cave and I got dibs on the garage. Sam gets the living room, which I call the babe layer. You doubled
down?
What's that?
You pulled the double? You got the daily double.
I got the daily double. I got a man cave and then like some like timeshare man cave out there. And then Sam's got the babe layer, which is I've dubbed it, in the living room. So she's chilling in the babe layer.
What does the babe layer have in it?
She's got the same TV as I do. She's got a big ass TV. She's got a nice computer. She's got a PlayStation. She's got a couch and half of the other living room that she doesn't even use because all that stuff's in one spot.
Listen, you're the smartest guy on this podcast because you gave your girl a living room and called it a babe layer. I'm doing that as soon as this show's over. I'm going to go out there when Kate's cooking dinner and say, ooh, the babe kitchen is looking awesome. She's going to turn around and smile like a superhero. You've been doing it the right fucking way. I love it.
It sounds like I did it the right way, but the way it really went down was I want you at the opposite end of the house. Get away from me is what she said to me. Is what she said to me.
The truth emerges. Oh man, I'm really happy to see you guys. For the people who are new to the show, Revolver Live is a gaming podcast with 6 revolving topics. You can be a part of the show like so many people today. Got a special show lined up for you guys today. You can be part of the show by submitting your topics for consideration at revolvergamescast@gmail.com. We go live every Sunday at 4:00 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/Briar Rabbit. The videos then shared on YouTube at Briar Rabbit's YouTube channel and my channel, Beastly Gamer. If you're unable to see the live feed or the video formats, check us out in podcast form on Podbean, iTunes, or your favorite podcast service provider. With that, welcome to Revolver Live episode 42. That's a little bit older than me, but I love it.
42. I can't believe I made it, man. I gotta tell you about my weekend.
Yeah, I want to hear about this, man.
Please.
Wilson was at summer camp.
For those of you who don't know, I went to summer camp, and no, it's not the summer camp you guys probably went to as kids. This is
Crystal Lake.
Yes, this is a music festival. Music festival with anywhere of an average attendance, anywhere between 20 to 25 plus thousand. Very free souls there. Lots of hippies, in other words. So they have 8 different stages at this festival. Tons of vendors, other things, all these trinkets and stuff that you can get. All these different stages with all these different kinds of music, and as you could imagine, all walks of life. Yeah. I mean, there are your old hippies, your old school. I mean, all ages, all races, all everything, and it was a great time. So some of the funny shit that you see at these festivals when you get that amount of people together is amazing. So what my friend Shibby started doing was, you can find people. There's people that are hard up for money. They're out there partying, they're losing stuff, they're spending money on things, and her mom gave her this big, I think it was a 2-gallon jar of Grey Poupon mustard. And she's like, everyone give it to your friends. We don't need it. It'll go to waste. So she brought it out to the festival and she was paying people like $5 she's like, let me dump some of this on you and film it.
What?
And she has all of these different like segments of video of her dumping this Grey Poupon. I'm talking a fucking jug, dude. This thing is huge. Just dumping it on people. And she had what else did she have? She had a big thing of like she had like a gallon of like Tabasco sauce and then like this like cheddar cheese. So all these people were in front of our booth and she was making them lay down and just running down with them with Grey Poupon mustard and stuff. And then we were instigating it a little bit. We're like, roll around in the dirt. And these people, they started rolling around, so all the grass and stuff would be stuck on them. And we're like, now go in the vibe tent and start grinding on people. And you'd think that it was like Moses parting the Red Sea. When that person ran in there, just you would see the crowd just split.
This motherfucker's covered in dirt and mustard.
Yeah, man.
Attacked by a fucking hot dog.
I've seen so many naked people this weekend.
Ooh, that's the great part.
So many people run from the police.
Sounds way better than the summer camp I went to.
I saw this guy get busted without a ticket, and the cops tackle him and get him on the back of the golf cart. And as he's on the back of the golf cart, this motherfucker goes, "Peace!" and jumps off.
He just runs for it.
The cops whip it around. They try to like nudge him with the golf cart. They end up running into each other. This guy's gone. All right.
Was he cuffed?
No, and they didn't have him apprehended at the time.
Oh,
and
nice.
30 minutes later, this motherfucker comes walking back with... This was his grandmaster disguise, all right?
Yeah,
he had on a white tank top. When he came back, he had a black one on.
Nice. Yeah. That'll fool him.
20 minutes later, same area, the cops are like, "Oh, hell no." And you could just see them. Like, they're all like, don't get him yet. We got to get around him. They pounce him. They get him. Off again. Off the back of the golf cart. He got away again.
This dude is my hero right now.
All of this was in front of me, in front of our booth, and we don't know if they got him again for the second time. But then there was another instance where a gentleman was running from the cops, and this may be the smartest guy I've seen in my life. As he was running, he was removing articles of clothing so that if they wanted to tackle him, they were going to have to tackle a naked dude. And you could tell as they realized what were happening, they were like,
oh man, started to slow down a little bit. That dude's getting awfully naked.
He's MIA. We don't know where he's at. You know what I mean?
What are you talking about? He's right there. Can't see him.
I don't see enough hippies. You know, growing up, I missed that whole era.
Oh man,
and it's like the era. The thing I dream of is like the era of free love. I mean, not that I would take advantage of this era. I just think it was a very giving time in human history. Like, imagine, Briar, if you got like a key to go back in time and get a VIP ticket to like Studio 54.
I don't know if that's hippies though. That's more like cocaine and
there were definitely hippies in there. Disco,
yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, a lot of hippies moved on to the disco movement.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of people in there doing some very fun activities. You don't have to partake.
The big thing to do is you get these big sticks at the festival because the crowd is so big, and if you get separated from your friend, we call them rage totems because people are out there raging, and it's almost like a banner and like a battle, you know what I mean? So you have a custom item that you put on top of this giant stick so that your friends know exactly where you are. And there's some really extravagant, like very beautiful ones, like all these different lights, like making jellyfish, like boxes with a light up face in a different color each time, like you turn the box around on like 4 different sides.
Cool.
And then there's the funny ones. Like there was a group that had a Trump one, a Kim Jong-un one, and a Putin one. And they were all together just raging in the crowd. Like, they had them on these sticks, and there were like ones with puppets and things. And there was there was one that I saw. It was like 5 different people had a pole, and like one was to like one arm, one was to the other arm, and it had legs. So it was almost like this big giant like puppet that like tons of people in the crowd were controlling. It was super insane. It was very funny.
It sounded like you had a good time. I don't know if many people know this, but you run your own business, and this was kind of a way for you to get some of your business out there and let people see your creative side and hopefully make some money. So like I told you pre-show, entrepreneurs they get my heart, and to know that I've got such a talented friend who's willing to brave the unknown, because it's really scary to be in that. Not only are you creating, but then you got to cross over into the world of sales to make your product seem valuable to people. And to me, that takes a lot of ingenuity. It takes a lot of courage, and I genuinely respect that. And I hope you really made out like a fat cat.
Means a lot, man. Yeah, sales were good, but yeah, you talk about it being scary. If you're not comfortable around people who like to get fucked up, it is very scary, dude. And I'm not talking like, oh, you had 6 beers fucked up either. Like some very strange people. Like, but and like the hardest thing is that like when you're running the booth, you have all these different people running up, and they can all be having a different experience and be putting off a completely different vibe. And it is exhausting. Like, you know what I mean?
To be a chameleon, you have to be a chameleon in that situation.
It's all these different vibes and energies coming up. Like, it sounds really hippy dippy, but like, it's true. You know, like these people each individual that comes up puts off like a different vibe. You know what I mean? And it's very hard to get in tune with. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm fucking glad it's over, because it was a heat index of 100. Briar's talking about good weather. 101 and like 80% humidity here. Like, yeah, out at a festival. Damn. And you talk about
how many hours a day were you up there?
You were at least 14. Like 8 in the morning till usually at least like 1, 2 in the morning ish, something like that. Like usually around there. So like at least 14.
That's what winners do though, Willie.
Yeah.
Sweet Dick Willie out there braving those customers. Very,
I'm glad it's over. I'm gled to be here.
Has anybody called you Sweet Dick Willie in the wild yet?
Other than Sam? No, not yet. No. That count in the wild?
That matters the most.
It will happen, Wilson. You're just going to be walking down the street someday, and you're going to hear, yo, it's Sweet Dick Willie!
Just going to dab on him? Okay.
Just going to dab on him, let him know. Like, but yeah, man, it's I'm glad to be home, ready to get back to normal life and air conditioning.
Oh man, thank God for air conditioning.
I paid someone to mow my lawn today.
So I'll pour one out for air conditioning.
I had to pay someone to mow my lawn today because it just got so out of control from me being at the festival that I needed a professional to take care of it. I had to call in the A team.
Call in the pros.
I had to call in the A team to come out and mow the lawn.
No longer an amateur project.
Weather has affected us all recently. Today, when I went into my office, the work that I normally do in the lab, our customers weren't providing any work. They're having kind of a slump. So there was nothing for me to run through my microscopes and make mounts of and check. And so I walked out on the floor like, you know, a baby new to the world. I didn't know what I was supposed to do for 8 hours. So I walked over to the plant manager and said, "No, there's no Borg Warner, there's no IMS." He said, "Well, how about you check those parts over there?" That's exactly how he sounds. Shout out to Tim. And so I walked over and checked those parts. It took all day long in the scathing heat. And I remember what it was like before I was promoted to the laboratory. It's hot as a motherfucker down here in Atlanta. It's hot as a motherfucker. You got to take a few letters out of motherfucker because it's that damn hot.
It's saucy.
It's just too exhausting to say the whole word.
It's just
you gotta shorten it.
Yeah. Okay, so look, this episode of Revolver Live is going to be super duper fun. And the reason it's going to be fun is because of you guys who are making it so fun. Not you, Briar. You can't take all the credit. Today's episode is going to be a Revolver viewers topic episode.
Give you all a Buffalo Wave, Beasley. How you like that?
Buffalo fucking way. Buffalo don't want none of this shit. Buffalo saw me picking up them heavy ass parts today. I bet you was thinking, damn, that motherfucker picked that shit up. No wonder I was asleep. But today's episode is going to be all about you guys. You guys have submitted us some great topics. We're going to run the gamut of these topics. And just in case you'd like to include topics for a further episode of like this type where we read our viewer topics, submit that to revolvergamescast@gmail.com. But this is going to be a lot of fun. We kind of reviewed these, went over the ones that we had.
A little bit of fun anyway.
Yeah, a little bit of it. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And Mr. Wilson, would you like to get us started with some of these great topics?
Before we do that, we got to thank our sponsor, On Air PC. Ooh. Thank you to On Air PC for sending me this. So this week, I actually built a brand new Threadripper based computer. This thing is an absolute monster. It's a streaming PC. This is the kind of thing that On Air PC can totally help you with. He has the expertise. Ryan over at On Air PC has the expertise to help you if you're a budding streamer, if you just want to, dip your toes into streaming. Maybe you want to stream and play video games on the same PC. Maybe you just want a dedicated streaming PC and you want a Threadripper. Maybe you want to call it Frame Ripper but you can't because I already named my computer Frame Ripper and that'd be unoriginal, you bastards. On Air PC could help you out with that, except for the naming part. So we want to thank On Air PC, and if you'd like to give them a call, their phone number is 330-850-1525. That's 330-850-1525. We should make that a jingle so we can remember it.
Ooh,
that's why they always make them.
I'm not writing the song.
Beastly, like, come on. I mean,
I can come
we
up
each
with
got
the
our own
jingle.
talents, and that's your talent. You got to 330-850-1525. You're not
going to dupe me into this. Just because it's my town? You want me to start singing about Buckeyes, too? They don't even taste that fucking good. Okay? The best things that come out of Ohio are, well, the Cavs are from Ohio, too, so yeah. Cavaliers.
I'll tell you the best thing to come out of
that's
Ohio.
Idaho.
Frame Ripper.
That's the best thing to come out of. That was the best ad read ever. In case you want, I don't know, Red Ripper.
Thank you to On Air PC. Give them a call if you're looking to build a new PC, and they'll be sure to help you out.
Yeah, I'm actually doing a little side project with On Air PC too, so I'm super excited about them as well. All right, so Mr. Wilson, would you like to do the first topic?
First topic comes to us from Luis Ramos. The question is, who creates better video games? American, Asian, or Europe developers? So Lewis says, I thought about this question while I was on the can and forgot my phone in my room. True tragedy.
Damn.
Started thinking about all the games I have played and noticed I have about 50 games coming from North America and Asian developers. However, the games I enjoyed mostly come from Asian developers. So how do you guys feel about this? Like, and it's kind of easy to break it down. So obviously for like Asian developers, you got things like Nier Automata, Metal Gear Solid, Mario, Pokemon.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then over here in the West, we've obviously got Rockstar, Bungie, Treyarch, all those kind of studios and stuff. In Europe, isn't Epic Games Europe based? The creators of Fortnite, I thought.
Oh yeah, fuck Europe.
So I'm not gonna lie.
Like the whole continent.
Well, I can't.
That Atlanta Anaconda, he earns his reputation.
Yes, we do. My wife happens to have roots there. But for me, this is kind of a trifecta of a question. It's really hard to answer because there have been times that we've all enjoyed games from these different places. We've all enjoyed RPGs. We've all played JRPGs, I would think, and kind of Japanese-centric experiences that have been hella fun. If we think about it, Mario is a Japanese game. And that really is, the foundation of what we all play as side scrollers, and it was the foundation of open world 3D platformers. So it's like, if you think about it that way, it's a real conundrum to answer. But then when you think about more North American developers and kind of the Western RPG and the Fallouts and things of that nature, it opens up a whole new door. I don't know if I could say which one I prefer. If you had to get rid of one, maybe that'd be an easier question. But for me, it all depends on what time of day, how I'm feeling. And I'm just I'll just be honest, I'm appreciative of them all. I play less Japanese games now than I used to, but they still, for me, are a very important part of that soup that makes gaming magical.
I like that, BC. At the end of this question, let's go back to which one we'd get rid of.
I like
After we answer the actual question, let's answer our own question.
Okay.
So for me, growing up, it was very much, I was all about the Japanese games, man, because we grew up on Nintendo and Super Nintendo and
Sega,
things like that. I mean, like I had Sega, dude, but I was a Nintendo bro.
We're talking about the console wars. We're talking about the place. And Sega's Japanese as well.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I know there's a lot of still American developers on the NES console and stuff like that, but ultimately the system came from Japan. So that's kind of like what I grew up on, was your Marios, your Zeldas, your Pokemons. Pokemon Red and Blue came out when I was relatively young. But as I got older, it's really swayed towards European and American game developers. Like, it's no secret, I love Bungie. I played a shitload of Call of Duties.
Yeah.
Battlefield, Ubisoft, a lot of stuff that Ubisoft's put out from, and I just, it's really tough. I would say I'm primarily an American dev gamer these days because the only damn game that I can seem to play is Destiny 2. So, but it was very much the opposite growing up, man. Like, dude, I loved me all the Mario games. Like, anytime a new Mario game came out, had to have it, like it's, but Ubisoft's been killing it lately, man. Like with, the Division on PC, like I'm actually pretty excited to see what comes with the second one because of how much they've turned around with the first one. I am legitimately interested in seeing what they do. So, it's tough. Like you said, it's a really hard one.
When you name the titles, it's hard to go against the North American developers. Like Inner Black Ninja said, God of War, America made God of War. He said, just saying. He said, don't forget Red Dead Redemption.
I read
Call of Duty.
GTA.
I mean, I played tons of these games, and it's really hard to vote against what kind of has been built here in America in the last 20 years.
But guys, you guys are missing one very important fact, is that the best game of all time came from Poland.
What game?
You're talking about The Witcher?
What do you mean, which game? The fuck kind of question is that, Wilson?
what game is that, Briar?
The Witcher 3, the best game of all time.
It is a great
trilogy.
It is a great game. I'm so happy I could speak on this now. The Witcher is one of the. I'm still playing it.
The thing about European games, specifically to me, Eastern European games, is they have something that is. It's hard to pinpoint, but there's an indie vibe about it, and there's this like rough vibe about it, but it's also really super creative, and it's. What it feels like, American developers feel like they're always going for like the blockbuster and like the wide appeal, and they do it fantastic. Like some great games. God of War is fantastic. Destiny is fantastic. Like, Call of Duty, like all these great games come out of America. Just fantastic stuff. And a lot of great indie stuff too. But the weirdness that comes out of Europe, like, I don't know, it's just very appealing to me. And it's I don't spend all day every day playing, The Witcher 3. Or other games along those types. But I don't know, there's something very appealing that comes out of Europe for me. Like a little off tempo.
I'm looking at some of these games, and you're right. Little Big Planet from Media Molecule.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at Europe.
Have you seen their new game, Dream? Is it Dreams? Is that what it's called?
Dreams, yeah.
I have seen a little bit
It has
of that.
been getting very good buzz from people who went to like the Judges Week at E3. Like, people are in love with that game.
If this is what look, they made Little Big Planet, and that game Little Big Planet 2, you could almost make anything.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the downfall with Little Big Planet, right, was the control. Like, no matter what you made in that game, no matter what you made in that game, you were stuck still with Sackboy's control system. But what the difference is in Dreams, apparently, is that you can make any game you want and make it control any way you want. Like, it's really supposed to be fantastic. It's like a tool set for you to really just go crazy with.
We haven't had a chance to talk about this, and this is another European game, but Detroit Become Human. Game of the Year contender easily. I beat that game. I beat it on Saturday.
That's an unpopular opinion.
And I'm not kidding, man. The game is fucking phenomenal. If you haven't played it, you can't speak on this shit, Briar.
You're right. I haven't played it. Yeah. I've just listened to professional reviewers pan it for the last week.
Pan it. Damn.
They can kiss the anaconda tip.
Didn't Tetris come from Russia?
Yeah.
Heavenly Sword, Devil May Cry.
And everyone knows Tetris. Games. My fucking grandma knows Tetris. Like, my grandma had a Game Boy with Tetris in it.
Europe. Assassin's Creed. All the Assassin's Creed. Killzone. Europe. So Angry Birds.
I'll tell you, Japan would not be at the top of my list, just because while they certainly would have been in the 80s and 90s, like, no doubt about it. Nowadays, like, I don't know, their way of storytelling has never really resonated with me. That's why I don't watch a lot of anime. That's why I don't really get down with that kind of thing. It's like their form of storytelling just it just doesn't work for me. And A lot of the stuff that I see come out of Japan these days, I don't know. It's not doing anything. I also don't like that like JRPG kind of flavor. You know, I never really have.
Whew. Can't agree with you on that.
Love the anime boobies though. Love it.
Look, Japanese games have a very important place. You know,
the fucking's good.
Final Fantasy series, Nier Automata, what's that one? Persona. You know, these games are very important to the gaming community and the gaming ethos in general. It might not be as popular, but I'm a huge anime fan. I love anime. To me, it's just
a lot of people do,
if not more important than traditional film. I love anime.
But that's all right because people are allowed to have different opinions, and that's why there's these wide varieties of different types of games, different kinds of entertainment, right? Is that, you know, some people are going to like stuff that comes out of the West, some people are going to like stuff that comes out of the East.
Some people like Detroit Become Human, God damn it.
Only
Fake-ass
very few, apparently.
Listening to. Shit. The game is sick, though. You guys check that game out. It's really, really cool. All right, now get rid of.
Yeah, who are we getting rid of? For me, it's easy. It's Japan. I'm getting rid of Japan.
Can't do it. Let's get rid of Mario. Let's get rid of Sonic. Let's get rid of. Oh no.
Nintendo doesn't make games for me anymore. I really like Legend of Zelda. The last Legend of Zelda. I can't remember the last Japanese game I loved before that.
Oh man, I can't get rid of them. I don't play Assassin's Creed. You know.
Has Antarctica put out a video game lately?
No, I think we're safe there. Something else. Anything good out of Australia recently?
What about you, Wilson? I mean, if you had to pick one, I'm looking at some of these Japanese video games. Pac-Man, Briar. There'd be no Pac-Man. There'd be no Resident Evil.
I'm not deleting their entire catalog. I'm saying like from here on out, we can't get rid of Japan for like there wouldn't be a modern video game industry if it weren't for Japan. So you can't delete Japan for like, you know, from past history. There's like the gaming industry doesn't exist as it does. Europe
is out for me.
Europe is out?
Yeah. There's no way I'd choose Europe over
Japan. Trying to think of what game New Zealand put out recently.
New Zealand. Oh, man. There's just so many good ones.
I guess Japan. Since I can't think of anything off the top of my head, I'm going to have to go with Europe, and it pains me. I'd hate to... Oh, that is a tough question. That's like, which kid do you love the most?
It's okay.
It ain't time.
I have five.
Never...
You can always say which one you love the most. Just
you fuck it up, Tommy.
Oh man, yeah. I guess I'd have to go with Europe. So we can kind of also piggyback off this question because our
Revolver decides. Europe.
So our next topic kind of goes in with this, and that is from DMI68 or DMI68 question. Which dev do you trust the most? He says,
dev?
Imai says, I finally had time this week to finish Jason Schreier's book, Blood, Sweat, and Pixels. A great read.
God. That's a phenomenal book.
Gave me a newfound appreciation for the hardships development teams face when creating the games we know and love. It made me think, I wonder who the Revolver crew trusts most. Which developers are your shining beacon during this shitstorm in the gaming
CD
industry?
Projekt, man. This is an easy question for me. It's CD Projekt. Like, no doubt about it. Like, I cannot wait for Cyberpunk to come out. Like, they're completely anti-loot boxes. They're anti-microtransactions. They're just into putting out the best game that they can put out, and then they support the shit out of the game that they just put out.
Wow. You know? Did you say Naughty Dog? Way to go, Briar. Me too.
No, I didn't say Naughty Dog. No.
Oh.
No. Nope.
Sure
yeah, I'm positive.
You make a good point.
What a scumbag you are.
You make a good point, Briar, and I don't want to piggyback off your answer, although I do agree and feel that is the best answer. But Rockstar, I feel, would be a close second. They do have microtransactions, and I don't really think any have been like too game breaking in a sense. Like maybe in a GTA Online kind of atmosphere, if you've got like armored cars and stuff like that, using the shark cards to get in-game currency, but it doesn't really bother me that much. Like, and I was also gonna say, Fantios and chat already said it. Bethesda, I really really like what Bethesda does and
That's a
the
good
way
point.
that they conduct
Ooh,
their
yeah.
business. So.
Bethesda has been really on a tear recently.
I don't
The
know,
reason-
man. Like, I mix it up. I always mix up Bethesda with BioWare.
The reason that I can't agree with Briar on this, I do think CD Projekt Red's a great developer, but
They did make the greatest game of all time, after all.
they made one of the greatest. Is it a
What kind of
lightning in a
horse
bottle
shit
type
is that?
situation? Is it a lightning in the bottle situation? I mean, the pedigree they have. I never played The Witcher 1 and 2. I have them on PC, but I never really got into it. I loaded up The Witcher 1. It looked like crap. I was like, oh, man, I don't want to do this. Is it a good game? Probably so. I'm not going to argue that point. But we have other developers who have a longer-lasting pedigree of games. Rockstar, for example, has been knocking out AAA awesome games for the last 2 decades.
Rockstar's on my shit list right now because they basically abandoned like single player DLC for GTA 5, right? And just completely settled into we're just going to keep creating like paid DLC or paid transactions for their online. So now I'm wondering, like, what's their next game going to be? It's going to be Red Dead Redemption. Is that just going to be filled with paid microtransactions in there online?
Well, it's still their first time ever doing something like that. And it is a business model too. So I mean,
if I go outside and I kill somebody for the first time, I'm still a fucking murderer.
Just don't do it, Briar. Don't let the tendencies take over.
Don't judge me.
For me, the answer is Naughty Dog, because Naughty Dog has a proven track record. They don't do microtransactions. Their games are well crafted, and you can tell they put their heart, soul, blood.
Wait a minute. Did you just say they don't do microtransactions? Weren't they the guys that sold the most overpowered weapon, the bow, in Last of Us multiplayer? Like it was literally a pay.
It's not overpowered.
Okay.
I play against it all the time.
Okay.
And I win. It's a weapon, and everybody has access to it. If you want to buy it for $1, you can. But as far as the microtransaction shit that's going on, as far as the mainstream media and what we're all talking about in the gaming world, they don't do microtransactions like that. They
just do pay to win.
No, it's not pay to win. Because if it was pay to win, everybody would have that fucking bow, and nobody does, Brian. You need to log in. It's been, 4 years since you logged in? Log in and see the damn game. Shit.
No, that's not happening. That game's filled with bitch bombs.
Bitch bombs.
Only when I'm playing against you, motherfucker. And anyway, but for me, yeah, Rockstar.
Uncharted 4 has microtransactions too.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that, and I don't give a fuck. The game is fucking amazing. It's just incredible. And I think that we're moving in a place in gaming where microtransactions are just an unseen conclusion. We're going to have this in the future. I don't think it's going to slow down. I think they might change the recipe and the way that these things are presented to the consumer, but it's a way for developers to make a little money on the back end. The cost of games has gone up insurmountably compared to what it was 20 years ago. And if they make, cosmetic items that people like or bow and arrows that shoot, arrow tips that make you bleed, and it's a way for them to make money, I think it's a business model. But my answer is definitely Rockstar. I mean, not Rockstar, Naughty Dog. Rockstar is good, though.
Interesting. Good answers. I dig it. All right. Chris Melvin asks, is D2 the worst sequel of all time? Dun, dun, dun. Argument. Is Destiny 2 the worst sequel of all time? I cannot think of a game that took everything from the first game and ruined each and every one of those things. Take the 9 months I put modifiers back on strikes while Fortnite goes from 30 to 60 in an hour. I'm a huge Destiny fan and played Destiny 1 a lot, but 2 is easily the worst sequel ever. So, hold on. It says, thanks for the email address, Gary, you stiff. At the end of it. Love Chris Melvin already. Love it. Go ahead, Briar.
It's good to see Gary is still in our hearts.
I think part of this conversation, we're going to have to look for a sequel that's worse than, that's part of the conversation. But when you look at how far Destiny 1 came, and then how many of those features were not there for Destiny 2? Destiny 2 is a good game, right? It doesn't speak to the hardcore players that were playing Destiny 1 for 3 years, though. And a lot of features that they're just getting around to adding in now, 9 months later, after release, It's a compelling argument. I'm trying to think what's been a really bad sequel for another game.
Dragon Age 2.
Okay, so
Dragon Age 2 is a good one.
Dragon Age
Andromeda.
2, a lot of people hated.
Oh yes. Oh God.
A lot of people hated Super Mario Brothers 2. A lot of people hated Castlevania 2.
No,
How are
they
you gonna
didn't.
hate on Super Mario Brothers 2? That game is amazing.
Yes, it is.
A
and
lot
so
of people,
is
yes, they
Castlevania
did.
2.
Beastly, have you heard of the Angry Video Game Nerd? That was the video that skyrocketed him into
Listen, if that's his
YouTube
name.
fame.
He's an angry motherfucker all the time.
Hey,
Okay?
listen, I get it.
Beasley
because-
brings up a good point here.
Listen, I get it, Beastly. Castlevania 2 is my favorite
Simon's
Castlevania
Quest.
of all time. Mario 2 is my favorite of all time. You know what the fuck I'm realizing right now? He's right. I just hate bad sequels. They're like my favorite games ever. He just blew my mind, Chris Melvin. I think I just figured it out. I think my thing is shitty sequels.
That's just your thing. Destiny 2.
Yeah.
Sad.
Fallout 4. I know this might not be a popular opinion, but Fallout 4 was very disappointing to me.
It was just Fallout 3. I don't know that I would.
I don't even think it was as good as
disappointing.
Fallout 3, to be honest with you.
I would agree with Evil here. Most of the Mass Effect sequels were pretty bad.
No,
Ooh.
just the third one.
Battlefront 2 is a good one. But is that a bad game, or was it just ruined by microtransactions? I never
What about-
actually played it.
What about Battlefield 4?
Battlefield 4, that was bad. That was
really fucking
broken when it released,
Yeah, it's
really.
Will has a good point. Call of Duty has a new shitty sequel to hate on every year.
Okay, this should win this
My boy.
argument easily. I think. Okay, Duke Nukem Forever. Took him 10 years to push that turd out.
Took
So
him
I mean, that's
forever?
like it's like diarrhea from hell. I hated Resident Evil 6. That's the game that made me really, really hate Resident Evil until Resident Evil 7 came out and kind of reversed it. But Resident Evil 6 was fucking atrocious. I absolutely hated that game.
Borderlands, the prequel, was pretty bad.
Didn't play it. Really, it was?
Yeah, you're not missing out. It was pretty bad.
Damn.
It was
I
pretty
don't know.
bad.
I'm gonna
I
go
would
with
put Destiny
no.
up there. I still have fun with Destiny, but maybe I just have super low expectations.
I don't know if
I'm
it's
easily impressed, maybe.
Yeah.
But like whenever I play Destiny, whenever I get out there and I go do anything in the game, Kate and I have a fucking blast playing that game. So it's definitely not the worst to me. I could think of many games that have pissed me off, not including Simon's Quest, Castlevania 2. That's amazing.
There's some good ones in chat. Dark Souls 3, I'm surprised to see. Or Dark Souls
Oh
2. he
no,
says,
no,
not
that's
3.
great.
This is Dark Souls 2. Resident Evil 6.
Yep, Resident Evil 6.
Fallout
That sucked.
4 is better than 3. Ash, you're crazy.
That's great.
Middle Earth
Calling
Shadow
them
of
out.
War. That's another good one. I don't know though, Wilson. I think I gotta hand it, like if I were to hand out the title of the worst sequel, I think I gotta give it to Battlefield 4.
Battlefield 4 is
That
some
game was broken. It would crash constantly. Like Destiny didn't crash, right? It shipped functional. You could play it. You know what I mean?
shit. The Mighty Turnip. I was on your side because the Mighty Turnip did say that Fallout 4 was much better. It was brilliant after they patched it, but then he turned around and fucked up and said he hates Resident Evil 6 and 7, and they're both equally as bad. No, you didn't go there. Resident Evil 7 is the shiznit.
Which one is 7? Is that the newest one?
Yeah, the VR.
Oh yeah. The new one's great. That's some craziness.
You
think
need to
that,
get
like-
off Wilson's party bus.
Mhm.
Air out
Yeah.
and play Resident Evil 7 again.
You've
What was
clam
the
bait too
Assassin's-
long.
Yeah. What was the Assassin's Creed where people were like the smush and falling
Unity.
through the floor?
Unity.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know if Destiny 2 is the worst sequel of all time.
It's
but
not even
it
up
might,
there.
If we're talking D2 vanilla, it might be an honorable mention in the category of worst sequels of all time. But I feel like it's in a much better place now. Now, I don't know when this question was submitted. This might have been months ago. This might have been.
Yeah,
Chris,
we
I
don't
don't even
check
know
our
if you're still
email.
fucking listening, but I dig it.
Chris was playing Oregon Trail and died of dysentery 2 months ago. Pour one out for Chris. Press F in chat for Chris.
F's all day. So,
Okay.
so Beasley, what was your worst sequel of all time?
I'm going to go ahead and go with. I really hated Dragon Age 2. I was a huge fan of Dragon Age, like everyone who ever played it, and 2 just stepped into a completely different world, different arena, changed everything, and it just broke my heart. Resident Evil 6
so weird with that game, Beastly, because Dragon Age 1, you're right, it was a fantastic game. And they've never gone back to that formula. Like, why don't they just go back to that formula? It's so good. Everybody wants it.
It's always someone
Origins
who
was
thinks
phenomenal.
They can outdo the creator. It's like the chick who's over the Star Wars films now. She's changing everything, and she says the Force is female, and she says people can't identify with Luke Skywalker, so she has to create this whole new mythos of all female protagonists. This is what's been going on. She's not a fan. She's trying to outdo George Lucas and what made Star Wars great. And changing it is not how you affect the fans. It's the same thing here. These people come into a project, they're working on a sequel, they see what the person did that made the game great, and they say, well, I'm going to go in a different direction. I'm going to try something else. It's not about the fans, it's about the story, it's about the world. And sometimes you take a step too far and you fuck everything up, like they did in Star Wars.
Yeah, I would definitely say the
these
Force.
movies are better than the prequels, though. And that was George Lucas making that shit.
You talk about. I'm glad you brought that up, because my choice is without a doubt Star Wars: The Force Unleashed 2.
Oh yeah, that's really
worst
bad.
Sequel of
Star
all
Killer. Oh, the
time.
first game is so good. My God, the first game is so good.
The first game was so good, and the second game felt like it should have been a DLC.
Yeah,
for the
DLC
first
for the
one.
first.
Really?
The way you
That's
use the
how it's
Force in that
short.
game, man. Oh, you felt like you were really doing it, Briar.
That was the first time, I think, since I was a little kid, that I felt ripped off from a video game.
Thank God for me, I was modding and burning Xbox 360 games at that time. Because I put that. Yeah, that's what they say. So I put that disc in the Xbox. I was like, oh, this is going to be some hype shit. I was like, wow, this is whack, man. They did this to Star Killer. His name was better than the fucking game. Ugh. Breaks my heart. All right, so we're going to move on to the next topic, which is submitted by Chris. Won't use your last name. The question is, I'm sorry, no, Chris was the D2 argument. This is D May 68. The question is M-rated game tax. So I didn't know about this until I read this. A U.S. senator has proposed legislation which will see a 10% tax added to the cost of M-rated video games. The good news, funds generated from this tax will go to support youth mental health programs. The bad news, the senator believes these programs are necessary because violent video games are breeding school shooters. I'm sorry. What do you guys think?
Are there any M-rated games? What's the last M-rated game that came out?
Evil Within?
Oh, yeah, that game made me want to murder my wife.
The game had to be M.
This is such bullshit. Okay, look. And of course there are people who are legislators who write laws, and you want to help, but they're looking in the wrong place. Mental health is a major issue out there in this world. And if they think that video games, people taking the role in Grand Theft Auto or taking over characters like Kratos or people with guns, Mad Max, and that's turning kids into shooters, that means they need to start taxing films. They need to R-rated
It's a scapegoat, right? I mean, it's a scapegoat.
It is. Deadpool wouldn't be allowed to be played. Okay?
Let me ask you this. This is a simple question, right? If it's violent video games that are causing school shootings, then why is it only happening here? Why isn't it happening in European countries who play the same fucking games?
Great point, Brian.
But don't shoot up their schools. It's not the issue. I'm sorry. There have been scientific studies being run since the 90s when people started spouting this bullshit the first time. And every scientific study has backed up the fact that they are not related. They're not related. So,
yeah, well, that's why when you get these legislators who want to make laws and pass laws that really hurt innocent people and tax innocent people on things that are unfounded, it's just completely ridiculous. There have been tons of studies, and I think that the answer is myriad. It's not one particular thing. Every household's not the same. My child is different from yours, and people deal with stress and anxiety in different ways. There's a huge study saying that the opioid crisis and the antidepressant epidemic has turned a lot of these people into these. It's kind of altered people's way of thinking make people think less of life. So there's a whole myriad that these professionals need to be looking at instead of focusing on something that's been around since the beginning of time. I mean, I played RoboCop in the arcade. I didn't leave and go shoot people. There was blood in that game. It's just insane. They don't know what to do, so they do, and they grab the very first thing they see that looks scary, and they're like, okay, this has got to be part of the problem, and it's not. And when you focus on issues and you solve them in this way, you're leaving the real issues, the fundamental issues, out there to fester.
Exactly, Beastly. They are scapegoating video games, and they refuse to deal with the real fucking issues because the real issues are too hard to deal with. They're too politically charged, right? Mm-hmm. So if I hear one more fucking guy say we need to focus on mental health and to do nothing about mental health at all, at all,
absolutely right. That's absolute 100%. I 100% agree with you.
Like I feel like the whole thing, they're like trying to make good out of just a bullshit situation by saying, oh, that tax is going to go towards mental health and stuff like that. If you want to tax for mental health, there's other places that you can do it. But just like Briar said, actually do something about it. Don't try to cover up this, crappy tax and say that it's going to go towards something good and that it's a good cause to get people to jump on board. Why don't you just do that anyway? Why don't you just set forth a certain amount of tax money to be put towards that stuff, And like Jimmy said in chat, like in Mortal Kombat, remember when Mortal Kombat first came out? Like the big stir, dude.
I remember when Tipper Gore and
what's his nuts?
The lady that almost was president. That I can't. Clinton. No, Clinton. Tipper Gore and Clinton were out there in the news, talking about how bad video games were for our youth. And meanwhile, there were studies. Right? Yeah, there were studies being done that directly contradicted this. It's funny because this was a Democratic issue in the 90s, and now it's flipped over to be a Republican issue. So it just depends on what they're trying to protect, I think. Whatever. Yeah, it's fucked up, man.
Yeah, it's fucked. I would not be cool with it. I would rather see them, just use tax money already towards that, and not blame video games for it, because like Briar said, we've already been here and now we're full circle. It's just the different side trying to point the finger this time around. It's a whole new set of people trying to,
And name me a fucking hobby that does more good for people than fucking gamers, man. Fucking millions of dollars raised yearly in support of, St. Jude's and Child's Play and multiple charities across the world. Millions of dollars.
Doctors Without Borders, all kinds of different things. Cancer prevention, children's hospitals. I mean, you could go on Twitch right now and find charity events. 100%. As a matter of fact, Awesome Games Done Quick is coming up next month, and they raise over $1 million twice a year. They raise like $3 million a year. You know what I mean? Like it's really weird how gamers have gotten this stigma of wanting to be violent people. I grew up playing the most violent of video games. I had the blood code for Mortal Kombat when it first came out.
ABACABB.
Doom was my first-person shooter. You know what I mean? Like, and I never have the thought of hurting someone. It just doesn't compute with me. You know what I mean? I would defend myself if I had to. If Buffalo gave me the salute with the two middle fingers and put them up my nose, I would have reacted the same way, Beastly. But I don't go looking for trouble like that.
You got that right.
It's a very touchy subject. But yeah, they're definitely looking in the wrong direction.
Look, we all saw it in chat. We all saw what the problem was. Bevel Up said it right. He said it's the damn rap music. It's 2 Live Crew. They have been allowed to corrupt our youth for too damn long. 2 Live Crew must be stopped.
I think they've been stopped for quite a few years, bro.
Oh.
I think you need to change those MP3s, my
friend. Oh man, that's great.
Yeah, it's a rough subject because I over and over again I feel like it's just used as a scapegoat, and it's so blatantly false. Like anybody who takes a half a minute to actually do any research on actual scientific study about it sees that it's all bullshit.
people don't care. You know what? And it's sad that we've become a society of reactionary people, and we have very real issues that require more than a short answer in our society. Things are complicated, and when you're in politics, sometimes you want to appear to be the guy or the girl who has the quick answer to solve the problems of your constituents, your people. But sometimes it takes a thoughtful person to sit down and be analytical and look at these issues and talk to the specialists and talk to the people in the field who really know what's going on, so you can make a decision that'll actually help stop or prevent some of these kind of issues happening, versus just, oh wow, I just saw blood on that movie. That's why. This is the reason why. And I think until they decide to stop, slow down, take a look at, the real situations happening and talk to people who really know the backgrounds of some of this stuff, we're going to be in the same boat. Great topic.
Yeah, good topic.
Great topic.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Although, I'll say this. What if gamers all got together and said, yeah, fuck it. Give us a 10% tax on our video games as long as you can promise to us that it'll actually go to mental health? Gamers would be like, we'll take that hit.
Yeah. I would.
Yep.
I definitely would, because
it
sounds like you agree here, Briar. Mental health is a huge issue with all this stuff going on. I mean, everybody who's been out in the world committing these shootings and losing their minds and going into the workplace and shooting people, it always comes back to some form of mental health. It's not just a person who went to the SWAT meet and said, "Fuck, I didn't like those shoes," and then they go into the to a movie theater or schools are shooting up kids. These are people with proven histories of mental health issues, and I think that it's about time we really do something about. Instead of everybody saying, "Do something," that could be anything. Do something meaningful. And that's the Beastly Minute.
Should we move on to the next one, guys?
Yeah, let's see it.
No, let's talk about politics a little bit more.
You want to get deep?
Let's get deep. Let's get real deep.
I don't know. Apparently, according to the stream, it got shut down for a few seconons. So the authorities.
You know what? As soon as I saw that, I'm like, shit, I'm not recording it locally. Fuck.
Oh, that's great. All right, next one comes from Brandon Tyler. Question: most competitive game. Hey guys, big fan. Topic is: what are you most competitive at? For Brandon, or for Brandon Tyler, his is Rainbow Six Siege, and PUBG is where he likes to get the sweatiest.
So, is the question, what are we best at, or what are we, like, just what gets our juices flowing?
Yes, what makes you a sweaty tryhard, win or lose?
This is easy for me.
Yeah, this is easy for me, too. Does it have to be a
Briar's
video
is
game?
The Last of Us, and mine is Destiny.
Does it have to be a video
most
game?
competitive game.
Okay, well, it says game. Does it say video game?
Do both.
All right. For game, I'm gonna say it's golf. I have a buddy. We go out on the golf course and we bet lunch. It's not a big bet. It's $10, right? We fight tooth and fucking nail to not pay for that lunch, man.
Shit.
It is 4.5 hours of absolute sweat fest out on that golf course, just stressing over every putt, worrying about the breeze, throw grass up to see where that breeze is going. We are hardcoring it out there. We're not very good at golf. We're just trying our fucking damnedest.
So would you say the skill-based matchmaking is really kicking in on this one? Like
The rubber banding is strong.
Yeah, your MMR is of equal stature.
We go hard. Probably for video game. I don't know, man. Like, I don't get super competitive about like Destiny. Like, every once in a while, I guess when we're like at the end of a card in Trials of Osiris, I'll start taking it pretty seriously. But I actually get worse when I start taking it seriously. Like, the more relaxed I am, like at the beginning of the card, I'll have more kills than at the end of the card where I start like tensing up and.
Yeah, Game 7
Stress.
can get a little tense, but like in D1, there was definitely some moments where I was like, I got to go fucking flawless this weekend. I need the Doctrine of Passing. I need the Jewel of Osiris. I need the Messenger. This and that. And you get up to Game 7, and we win the first round. What do I always say, Briar? After we win the first round,
Moment of truth.
First round sets the tone. Remember?
First round sets the tone. That's right.
First round sets the tone. Let's go, boys. Briar knows I get sweaty as shit in D2.
Yeah.
He knows it. He knows I love it. Like, I get going. That stuff gets me going. if lately me and some of the old Tower Life guys, Con Man and Great American Hero, we've all been hopping on and playing golf with friends. And you guys, it's funny that you bring up golf, Briar, because I don't know what the fuck it is about golf that makes you hate your friend when they do better on a hole than you do. You think I was sweaty when we played? Dude, Great American Hero is the sweatiest golf with friends player I've ever seen in my life, dude.
We should put him in a room with Pope Bear and Holtzman then.
Yeah, they're pretty good too.
They're sweaty.
Sweaty? They're sweaty?
Sweaty.
They're sweaty. Man, it's something about it's funny you bring that up because that's when you said golf, it instantly made me think about that. There is something about the game of golf that is both relaxing and can be intense at the same time. Like you're not really doing much more than just hitting a ball on a green open field on a beautiful sunny day and the birds are chirping and like you said, there's something about it that's stressful.
Yo, but when you're saying no to beer because you're afraid that you're gonna get too drunk,
yeah, that's
you're in it. You
want that lunch.
You want that lunch, man. You want that free lunch. They say there's nothing like there's no such thing as a free lunch, but I can guarantee you there is. You just got to win it.
You're just getting that free L7 from Long John Silver's, you best believe, right?
We're going deep. We're getting the double quarter pounder.
Yes.
Making a double, motherfucker. Lunch is on that bitch.
Yeah, let me get 3/4 pounders and supersize that because it's on the loser today.
And imagine Briar's friend is sitting across watching him eat this.
I've been that guy though. I've been the guy paying too, for sure. Yeah.
I never competed like that for anything. I come from a super competitive family, so I have 6 brothers, and so everything was my dick's bigger than yours. I was always right, but when it comes to video games. I come from the old school when fighting games were like the place to be. Marvel vs. Capcom in the arcade, Mortal Kombat 2. I could close my eyes and ask you any move for Mortal Kombat 2 or 3, and you get to ask me, and I can tell you right now how to do it. It's etched in my brain. It'll never ever go away. So Mortal Kombat, I'm super competitive in the old ones. The new ones, I'll beat my sons because they're scrubs and they don't really understand Mortal Kombat. But let's go back. We go back to Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3. I am a god. So I'm really, really competitive in that. Tekken. I love Tekken. Yeah.
When I first met my sons, before they were my sons, right? When I was dating their mother, and they came over to my house for the first time. I had the PlayStation 3 set up with Street Fighter. Was it 4 at the time? I think it was Street Fighter 4 at the time. And they really wanted to play it. So I played them, and I won, and I stood up. And I said, yes!
What the fuck?
They started crying.
That's fucked up, dude.
And that's when your wife looked at you and said, this is the one.
Dude, Sam had to check me at Six Flags one time. I was playing air hockey against this kid, and I was backhanding and jumping across, and I was hitting the thing so hard it was flying off, and Sam goes, hey, come here for a second. I walked over and I'm like, what's up? And she's like, you realize you're playing a fucking 8-year-old, right? Yeah. And you're like 32 years old out here sweating in air hockey. Who does that? She literally looked at me and said, who does that? And
I brought the kids to play laser tag one time for their birthday, and I was going hard up in that laser tag.
You have to. Yes, you do. You have to, bro. No fucking chances. I don't care if your name's Nova, and here your name is Enemy. Yeah. Shit.
Briar's out here diving over shit and laser tag, covering up the sensor and running out
sideways like this. That's someone who gets swept with 10-year-olds.
Dude, I'm rolling on the ground. I'm fucking elbow walking.
If they're aiming at your back, you go like this. If they're aiming at your foot, you go like so you just play like a fucking idiot.
I was going fucking hard up in there.
Probably the most competitive in is The Last of Us multiplayer. That community is so alive and vibrant even after all these years. It's just insane.
It's almost as big as the PC Destiny community.
Oh man, dude, you would never have an issue looking for a game on The Last of Us online. Destiny, yeah, your ass will. You'd be sitting there hoping your friends log on. On The Last of Us, the game starts immediately. Don't try Naughty Dog like that, sucker. Shit.
So
Shit.
I had another in real life competitive, like several years. It's about, say, probably about 7 years. I did paintball competitively and started from playing in the woods, went on to the tournament field where they have the inflatable structures that are different sizes, and one side of the field is exactly the same as the other. We got really into that, me and some of my boys. We ended up picking up some sponsors and holding tournaments locally with buy-ins and giving pretty big cash prize out, like cash payouts to, the first 3 finishers or whatever, so that there was an incentive. Like, even if you got 3rd place, you walked out of there with more money than what you paid into the tournament, sort of thing. So tons of people showed up for those, and we'd use that too. We went all over the country, man. I've played paintball in Huntington Beach. Got to meet Maurice Gibbs from the Bee Gees. Be Real from Cypress Hill. A bunch of guys that were in the tournament and stuff. So we got to play in Huntington Beach, down in Texas, Philly, South Carolina, Chicago. I mean, it was just all over the country. New Jersey, like everywhere. And it was very cutthroat and competitive, because if you didn't place as, like, in the finals on Sunday, everyone was trying to make it to Sunday. You know what I mean? And if you didn't place, your sponsor might drop you. You know what I mean? Ooh. And paintballs were roughly $80 for 2,000. I would shoot 2,000 easily in one match, no problem. And you could potentially play 50 plus matches by the time the weekend's over.
Holy shit!
You should start selling drugs.
A lot of people did there. But anyway, hence bringing in the crowd, like Be Real and Everlast and all these guys and the guys from the Bee Gees. It was really cool, man, but it was cutthroat as shit and competitive. It got to the point where, people would leave one team and go to another, and it was very competitive. I do miss it, but I don't, because like any hobby that you turn into something more than a hobby, like, it consumes your life. Like, you have time for paintball and work. That's it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not quite like video gaming. It was a lot of fun, man. Like I said, we got to meet some really cool people. We won a lot of tournaments and just had an absolute blast. We got to go all over the place. And I felt bad because they would always stick the entire, it was either called the NPPL, National Professional Paintball League, or PSP, Paintball Sports Promotions, were the 2 different leagues.
Shout out to Gary Diaz.
Shout out to Gary Diaz, PSP. And they would always stick all of us in the same hotel. And I'll never forget in New Jersey that I got off on the wrong floor. And when the door opened, all I heard was, people were shooting paintballs in the hallway.
That's awesome.
Like, as I opened the door, there's people in masks and guns running down the hallway, shooting the shit out of each other. And I'm like, yep, ding, we're closing that door and going back down to the next floor. And it always got super wild, man. So that was the
best game of paintball I ever played was actually played indoors. It was a office building that they had converted over. Like, I guess it had been sold, so they bought the office building and played paintball. There's still cubicles set up in there. There was long hallways with offices that connected with doors in between them. It was the most intense fucking paintball I've ever played. It is crazy. Man.
I've got an old video I'll have to link you to after the show of our team, like a little montage that we put together. And we used to go hard, man, really hard. We would step up after a game, and after diving around and crawling around, I mean, we'd just be scraped and bruised up, because you were only allowed so much padding, because if a ball hits you and bounces, you're still in.
Yeah.
Even if the ref sees it hit you and bounce, you know what I mean? You can't contest
how
that.
How do you get knocked out? I mean,
you just get shot anywhere on your person or the gun you're holding. Anything. That means your hopper that holds the paintballs. If you get shot and that gets hit, you're out. Just anything. You have these pods on your back that hold about a hopper's worth of paint. So when your hopper runs out, you reach behind you, pull some Velcro, dump the pods in, and chuck them. If that pod gets hit while you're refilling it, you're out. If the pod, you throw it on the ground and it gets hit and you go to pick it up again, you're out. They just can't mess with. It's just too much to contest, too many variables. So it's just a blanket. If you get hit anywhere, you're out.
Damn.
And it's usually.
I'll just stick with laser tag. You don't get hurt.
It was a 5v5. Oh,
That's
yeah,
not
man.
true.
There was. It's not true, Briar.
It's fucking dark in there. You're running hard.
Bro.
Briar's
And Briar,
a
you
fucking-
can't see the walls, Briar. Just doom.
Yeah, he's a fucking last
Glasses
action
are all
hero.
fogged up.
Yep. Yep.
Real quick, I just wanted to quote someone, and this is someone who I know, Briar, that you respect their gamer opinion because they've been gaming for a very long time, and this one person in particular knows what the hell he's talking about. But it's Inner Black Ninja. He said, "I like The Last of Us' online multiplayer more than Destiny's." Just saying. We can continue now.
Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one, and they all stink.
Shut your asshole, Briar.
I wanted to actually, because it didn't occur to me to think about PvE and getting sweaty in PvE. But, I mean, talk about a recent experience. We just finally finished the Spire of Stars raid like a week ago. And I'll tell you what, when you are trying to get, like done with your raid team and it's 12 hours in, the sweat is real in that, you do not want to be the one who fucks up and like you got 5 other people just like relying on you to get your shit together, like that.
How many times have you beat that?
Once.
Ooh, really? It's that hard?
It's hard, dude. It's
hard,
hard, and
yeah.
we were under-leveled for it. Had me and Briar taking the leveling process a little bit more seriously, just a dash.
A little bit, my ass.
A little bit. It wouldn't have been so bad, but like we hit a wall. We did as best as we could have completed that raid our first day in. All the stars would have had to have aligned. So it was possible. It was just very unlikely that we were going to finish it the first day. So the second time around, we had a few people who couldn't make it. So, DCP, got with the poll that they have, no big deal.
We got a couple
5
of
seconds.
randos, helped them out.
Yeah,
got them in
a
there.
couple of randoms. Modern, Tryhard, and Chevy. You may have heard of them. They're just part of the world's first team. No big deal. And Briar and the rest of DCP pulled those guys in with about 5 seconds to fill the spot. And they were a good sport. Like, they kind of let us like do our call outs, even though they weren't like the correct call outs. When you go up, there's a part
What
of
do
the
you mean
raid.
not correct?
Hear me out. You're right. Okay, I apologize. They're totally correct. There's a part of the raid basically where you get launched up into the air and you have to look at these ships and they have a symbol over their head. It's usually circle, square, or triangle. Well, we didn't even see shapes because our mind as apparently hasn't evolved past a 2-year-old to identify too many shapes here. So we started calling it, they had these little protrusions. There was one, which we called penis because it just had a little protrusion coming off of it. And then there was another one that looked like the Xbox 360 power button. So we called it power. And then the other one had 4 protrusions, which we called quad or quad dick.
Yeah.
So it was funny that Chevy and Modern Tryhard were totally cool enough to be like, quad dick, right side, like when they were doing the call outs, like.
Did you guys finally see the triangle, circle, and square?
No. We started with quad dick, but we shortened it to quad, right? And then like I get shot up there and I'm like, quad dick power, and everybody's like, you called all 3 of them. I'm like, no, it's quad dick. There's 4 of them. There's quad dick. We got like a 10-minute argument about quad dicks.
Great. Meanwhile, Chevy and Modern Tryhard are probably just sitting there going, these guys.
I can't believe they didn't finish the first night. I'm really surprised.
With these call outs, I'm surprised they didn't get world's first. I'm shocked. It was great, but you're absolutely right, dude. That was a super sweaty encounter, man. Remember, we thought we were getting a buff, and it turned out it was just something from the raid boots. Remember that?
Yeah, that was a good half hour wasted.
It was just a perk on somebody's boots. That was fantastic. All right, so
Next topic.
next one and last one that we have.
Yeah. So
And I think it's possibly one of the best questions that have been asked personally. So Denver Miller has a question. Have you ever destroyed a relationship because of video gaming? So I don't know if you guys need a minute
is
to
there
think.
any way you could make Briar's image larger than everyone else's during the podcast? Also, fuck Gary. Thanks.
Also, fuck Gary.
Gary's getting a lot of love today. Have we ever destroyed a I've never destroyed a relationship over gaming. I've been very, very lucky to have been partnered with a woman who loves gaming as much as me. She even loved Detroit Become Human, Briar. But
you're right. This is better.
I actually started a relationship based on a lie about video games. My son's mother, Miss Keita, when I met her, I was 18, she was 17, and she, getting to know me, I had never dated. I'm like my kids. I didn't know what a vagina was. I thought it was just to pee with. Anyway, I'm trying to get next to this girl. I'm spitting game on the phone. That was back when those Nokia phones were out, the big thick bitches. And she asked me what I do like for fun. And I was like, girl, I'm playing this Dreamcast. You ever play Sonic Adventure? She's like, yeah, I like Sonic. I was like, word? Okay. And so she went and had her grandmother buy her a fucking Dreamcast. And so like 2 days later, she called me. She's like, oh, I didn't tell you. I got my Dreamcast from upstairs and I brought it into my room. So I'm playing Crazy Taxi. I got this game called Seaman. I was like, why would you buy Seaman? And she's like, I don't know. I just like all kinds of games. And I'm thinking, this chick is the truth. That's probably the last time she ever played a fucking video game. So we ended up being together for 5 years. And it got to the point where I'd have my brothers and my friends come over on the weekends and we'd sit in the living room playing PlayStation 2 and playing Smash Brothers. And I'd look back and she'd be like the black version of the girl from The Grudge, staring in anger as we had a blast playing video games. So our relationship was founded on a fucking lie. So I don't know if I could say that I ended a relationship because of video games. It's possible. You might not have ever got into it, though, if she didn't fucking come up with that lie about the Dreamcast. I love you, sons.
I think I've used like hobbies like as a way to break up with people. Right? It's like like you know when a relationship isn't really working, so you just start kind of drifting away. You still like sex though every once in a while. So you whether it's you just kind of start focusing more on video games than watching movies with your SO or going out with friends more. Maybe you're playing some golf, maybe you're going out with your motorcycle, maybe you're playing Call of Duty online. I don't know if I've ever had a video game or a hobby ruin a relationship. But I've used them definitely as a way out of a relationship.
How'd this go, Briar? Do you have an example?
I mean, it's the same. Look, here's the thing with me, right? Is if I love you and if I care about you, I'll do anything I can for you. I will literally do whatever I can for you. But if I don't like you, I just don't care. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's no hate coming from me.
Chemistry, I got you.
There's no, I'm not going to spend all my time hating on you or worrying about like, what can I do to get that beastly motherfucker? It's literally going to be, you're just going to get like a brick wall. It's just going to get shut down. Like it's just not going to be there anymore. Right. Because I'm not going to spend my time on an old relationship. And that's how I am with like ex-girlfriends too. It's like, it's just when it's over, it's just over. It's just not, there's no.
So you're the real ice man.
I mean, I suppose,
it's cold as ice when it's time to be. Hey, man, there's nothing wrong with that. Some people spend their entire lives, being polite. I don't want to hurt this person's feelings, and they turn back and they're 50, and they're like, fuck.
I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I just, I don't have time, like.
It's the truth, and that's a sad part of society, though, that people will go into a Starbucks, and if they get the latte wrong, they go back to the cashier and cuss her out and say, does this look like a fucking vanilla latte to you? And the lady will say, oh, I'm so sorry, I'll get that for you. But they'll stay in a relationship with someone who's literally ruining their life. Beastly, I saw
the best video like a week ago. It was a woman who was so fucking pissed off at Starbucks or something. I don't know exactly what store it was. That she pulls down her pants, shits on the floor, picks up the shit and flings it at the people working behind the counter. No. It's all caught on video. It is amazing.
Wow.
What the fuck are you watching?
That is some primal
That's not on Netflix,
shit.
man.
That's well described, Wilson.
That's some primal rage shit.
Very primal.
Somebody in that fucking game because that's some gorilla shit. Damn.
So like it's it's really easy for me. Every single relationship I've ever been into up until now, video games have pretty much been the deciding factor in us breaking up.
I love you.
So it always starts out with, oh, that's cute. You play video games. That's awesome. Like, you're home all the time. You're not out like partying, which was definitely not the case back then. I was doing both. But like, you know, they would always start out very interested in, or pretend to be, you know what I mean? Like, oh, what are you doing? You know, I'm achievement hunting, you know, nothing too exciting here. Like, I'm just getting achievements. Oh, well, you know, here, I'll get the player's guide and help you do it. You know what I mean? And then, you know, once, you know, the honeymoon phase is over and everyone gets comfortable, it's, you know, you play too many video games. And I had this one girl lived with my best friend and his wife for a while. So, oh my God, for our audio listeners right now, Briar is eating a fruit roll-up. Very,
how the fuck did you get so fucking long?
Very sensually.
That's fruit by the foot.
It is fruit by the foot. It is some good shit, man. I miss fruit.
Oh my God.
Briar, I like earlier how when you ended your stream, you're like, okay, guys, I'm going to go get something to eat and we'll be back for Revolver Live. And motherfucker comes back with a fucking fruit
roll-up. He was killing that roll-up, too. Oh, I'm so sorry, Wilson, to interrupt your story. It's
no, it's all good.
Basically, see a guy do this with a long-ass fucking fruit roll-up. It's really hard not to react. I apologize.
Eating it very sensually. I don't blame you.
He was wearing that shit out.
Yeah. Yeah, so this girl that I was dating lived with my best friend and his wife for a while. So anytime that he was playing video games with me, she would know about it when she wasn't there. So that shit wasn't happening. And then that's the first time I figured out the hide offline function or whatever.
Ooh,
so that
smart man.
Yeah, and like it got to the point to where, like, no joke, like she'd turn his PlayStation on and look at the friends list and be like, oh, you know, you said you had to go to your grandma's or help some old lady across the street. You're playing fucking Halo 3.
You lying bastard.
Ranked.
Yo, I'm trying to get her rank up. I'm helping the lady across the street get her rank up. There's a hard fucking carry up in here.
I'm helping her more than across the street. I'm trying to get her to rank 50, all right? Like,
that's easy.
It's shoddy
come
snipes.
over here and try and carry this burden.
Yeah, right?
That's
Woman's all fucking potatoes.
Game 50 and it's shoddy snipes.
It's funny, though, right? That story, Wilson, kind of reminds me of Kate's friend Taylor, who's about 3 years younger than Kate, but she's always been adamantly against her boyfriend spending any extracurricular time playing video games, because even back when she was 17, 18, 19, she was like, that is just what kids do. Grown men shouldn't be playing it. And I've seen her go through relationship after bad relationship, and every time, I met her boyfriend in Ohio a couple of years ago, the guy she's with now, and I was talking to him about video games. He seemed really enthusiastic about it, and she sat down and he got real quiet, and I was like, are we not going to talk about VR anymore? He's like, I'll talk to you about it later. And I was like, and then I looked at her over her, and she was looking at me like, he's not going to do this. And I was like, holy fucking shit. Some people, their happiness or what they want is more important than you being yourself. And I'm happy as fuck you met Sam. She's awesome. She's a gamer, and she's like the hole to your key. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Wouldn't I be the key and she be the hole? You know what I'm saying?
Wait, who's the key master and who's the lock? Wait, what?
I said
gatekeeper. Who's the
hole
gatekeeper?
to his key.
Are you the gatekeeper? The key master?
I mean, just imagine though, Wilson, if you stuck around with someone who had an issue with that, or if you just, like I said, played nice. I don't want to make this chick angry.
Like,
I'm happy you're a fucking man that stands for something. You pull your dick out, you smack the ground with it and say, this far, no further. Take your hand off my goddamn controller and get the fuck out of my apartment.
That's right. They don't call him Sweet Dick Willie for nothing. That's what I'm saying.
Like that. That's what I'm saying. Did you just pull out like a phallic Gandalf, like slap your dick down and say, "You shall not pass"?
Actually, it was Captain Jean-Luc Picard, but yeah, I'll take Gandalf.
You shall not pass.
Ooh, everyone scatters. So I got a buddy who I'm not going to mention his name, gone fishing, and his girlfriend is, oh my god, she cracks me up. Like anytime she gets upset with him, we get oh my God, it's so much joy. And I hate having joy at somebody else's expense. But I told him, I was like, dude, just get her a PlayStation, invite her into the party chat, and within 5 seconds, she will realize that nobody in this party is getting laid. We're all talking about video game stuff. You know, we're talking about spells and buffs and things to equip and anything other than real life at the moment. You know what I mean?
Smells like nerds in here.
Yeah, exactly. Smells like anything but sex, I promise. Like but she is always like, we only get him on Wednesday nights, and he'll always message me on Wednesday and be like, you gonna game with me tonight? And you know what I mean? And it's just, it's cool that he could put up with it because I couldn't. He's a stronger man than I am for it, you know, when you really love someone. But
nobody sleeps with that person. It's really easy for everybody to kind of micromanage from outside. But, you know, he has that relationship with her. She's seen him at his worst and vice versa. So sometimes people sit around and take shit, but I'm happy you didn't. Is it just me, though? Side quest of this topic. Are girls who play, not the streaming girls who pull their tits out and say, oops, my top. But I'm talking about actual regular chicks who play video games. Aren't they the fucking most amazing things on earth? Women who are deeply steeped into.
What would actually be amazing is a chick, like a chicken, a small chicken, playing video games. Now this would be amazing. Can you imagine? All right, you might need 2 of them, right?
Let's control.
Yes.
Yeah, because I don't think that unless they really spread eagle, they could hit.
Have to have this here and this here.
Yeah, well, we'd probably want to go to an NES controller because it's a little more simpler. They could do the A and B buttons, 1 foot on each button for one chick, and the other chick controls the D-pad, right? Yeah, now we're talking. Not that Yobo piece of shit, a real NES. Now, we get 2 chicks who could coordinate and play some Mario. How many chicks does it take to finish Mario? Given unlimited time and unlimited chicks, how many chicks does it take?
4,000 years.
4,000 years.
That's just my guess off the top. Unlimited time and unlimited chicks. One chick could just stand on the D-pad for.
Do you think actually? Maybe I got this all wrong. Would they actually stand on it, or would they peck at it?
It depends on if you put a trigger on the. If you put something that makes it look like, oh, I should peck this.
Throw a little bird seed on there.
Now we're talking a different game. Now we could do some Dark Souls shit.
Oh, like if you strategically place the. Oh,
that would be a new fucking esport.
That's like Killer Instinct combo shit right there. You could get a killer combo.
Killer combo. Yeah. As soon as it's time, you see the enemy coming. You got a little funnel. You drop a seed. It lands. Sticky pad right on each button. Bloop. Sticks on the button. The bird goes over. I
don't know how long before it shits on it.
Not long.
2 minutes.
Not long. How much chick shit could a NES controller stand up to?
Well, my sister
Giselle, they're pretty durable.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nintendo controllers are.
What's the?
I've thrown quite a few.
How much? Like, I've never looked at chick shit. Right? Is it very runny, like a bird, like a full-grown bird, where it's like the white with the little bit of brown in it?
I would probably surmise that it is runnier than an adult bird. That's only from my experience with my daughter. She has baby poop, and it's much runnier than adult poop, and somehow it just goes everywhere, and she's completely fine. So
we might need to bag up that NES controller because we don't know how dirty these chicks are.
Or just put like a spray protectant over the top. A spray protectant over the top that you could kind of just brush the bird poopage off. But look, I want to talk to you more about this idea, Briar, because I think it could actually go places if we stream this.
I agree. I totally think this is a great idea.
But before we get back into the bird poop, I wanted to do this week's episode of Cisco Facts.
Oh, okay. What do we got?
All right, so. This is a fact. It's going to be about our friend Cisco. Okay, so I always wondered how he was so well versed in thongs and thong usage and thong placement.
Yes.
He even says it in his song. He says, "She had dumps like a truck.
I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Baby, move your butt. He make you sing it again.
Sing it again.
So he repeated. So she had dumps like a truck, thighs like what? And then he said, "Baby, move your butt all night long. Let me see that thong." And I was wondering, I'm a guy. I walk around, and if my woman wears a thong, I only see it at nighttime. But during the day, it's really hard to see. And the reason that Cisco is so well adept at seeing thongs is because, first of all, I'll give you a couple new facts.
New facts. We're gonna get a couple of new facts. Like a Cisco bonus episode.
His birthday is November 9th, 1978. Okay, his birth sign is Scorpio. And the reason he could see these thongs so well is because of his actual placement to the traditional woman's ass.
This year is his 40th birthday.
5'4". He is right in the vicinity of the average woman's ass. He has a much better perspective on seeing thongs than we do because of his height. And so I've always wondered, being 5'4", kind of like Harry Potter. I think Harry Potter's like 5'2". When you're that short, the thong is right in your face. And that's why That's a
very tall lady wearing that thong.
I've seen him.
I mean, because you got to figure the thong is at the midpoint of the lady, so you're talking about like a 10'8" lady.
I don't know. I've seen some high-waisted ladies. I've seen a woman who is 5'11".
Okay, let's say it's 2/3.
Her waistline is 5'4".
You're still talking about like an 8-foot lady.
I think it was a birth defect, bro.
A birth defect.
Yeah.
Did she have no torso?
5'11".
It was just neck then hip?
No, it went directly from her waistline to her head. What else do you need? Nothing.
Arms.
Not arms? No. Are you telling me you wouldn't sleep with one of those fine-ass girls from Silent Hill? You would have if they gave you enough alcohol and enough time.
Think we can get Cisco on the show someday?
I hope so.
Possible. Should we hit him up on Twitter? Yo, okay, everyone, find
Cisco,
out.
He legit loves video games.
Tweet Cisco on Twitter #RevolverLive.
Yeah. Oh man, do it, guys.
And let's see if we can get Cisco on Revolver Live.
I'd sing his songs. I'd sing them for everybody. I actually have a really nice singing voice. No one ever hears.
That's true.
No, you don't.
Yes, we do.
That's my rapping voice.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
See? You're just not black enough.
I feel like I've heard your singing voice. I feel like we've sung together.
Really?
Yeah, we've done a little bit of, like pre-show. One of us will get a tune stuck in our head, and we'll start kind of humming along, and all of a sudden busting out, okay, "You're a rich girl, and you don't know."
Too far, because you know it don't matter anyway.
Little Hall and Oates.
You can rely on your old man's money.
You can rely on the old man's money.
She's a bitch girl.
See?
Yeah, man. I love singing. Makes me feel it's bad though when you're with someone and your significant other is too shy to sing. But like when you're singing in the car and you're driving and you look over and you see him tapping the window and mouthing the shit, but you can't hear it. Mm-hmm. Start fucking singing, Kate.
Do you guys?
Goddamn it, Kate! Sing.
Do you
sing
guys
loud
do that
and proud, Kate.
Tell her again, bro. Oh my God, do it again. I felt a surge of energy when he said that.
When you're in the car, when you pull up to a stoplight and people pull up next to you, do you keep jamming, singing, or do you?
Yes,
I do.
Absolutely.
I 100% do.
You know what?
At first, I see that they're looking at me. I feel kind of embarrassed, and then I like double my effort.
Yes, I was gonna say sometimes I'll look over at them and start doing it, and you get some hilarious reactions. Like people love it, man. I've never had a negative reaction to someone busting me out singing in the car.
Well, what I do, because my boys are at the age now, I pick up them from their mother's house, which won't be happening for a while because it's the summertime. Fuck, gotta go buy some food. But I'll pick them up from their mother's house, and it's mostly black neighborhood their mom lives in. Nice neighborhood, but it's mostly black, 99%. And in the black community, you got to walk with a kind of pimp walk. Everybody looks like they just escaped from jail. Like nobody's like, "Hey, how you doing?" Everybody's upset. Walking to the bus stop. I'll roll all my windows down and start singing some Utada Hikaru, this Japanese singer, and I'll sing it in her voice loudly. Mm-hmm. And my son, I'll see his seat kind of recline. I don't give a fuck. And I've seen people kind of look like, "What are you singing?" And then when they get close, the car will pull up next to you, and you, Chloe, don't you dare, oh, Barney, once again. And I'm actually saying this shit, and they're like, holy shit, this dude's fucking crazy.
That's hilarious. If I had kids, I would be all about embarrassing them in the car.
That's good stuff. Oh yeah,
that is.
I had the Jeep, Wilson. I had the Jeep with the doors and the top off. That was prime.
What did you do, Brian?
I'm gonna have
just
to
be
do that.
Screaming lyrics to the song at the top of my lungs at a stoplight. My kids just be like,
"That's amazing." That's yeah.
Keep it real, man. Keep it real.
Dad, can we get the windows limo tinted, like, so they can hide in the back?
There are no windows. I took them off.
There are no windows. You know, I mean, real talk. A couple of months ago, my sons, they were fucking up at school, and they know I don't like that shit. Bro, it's really hard to spank a 17-year-old, especially when their legs are hairier than yours, and then you're sitting looking at the leg, and you're like, how did you get that? Anyway, what you do when your kids are fucking up, you take their bedroom door off the hinge. I don't know why it works. And you just take the door completely off, right? Leaving them completely exposed.
Yeah, because they can't jerk off anymore, Beasley. It's the ultimate punishment.
My oldest man, everybody's asleep, and he'll go in the bathroom for an hour. And the reason you know he's doing something unseemly is because he neatly rolls a towel and lays it at the bottom of the door.
Yeah, because nobody's in the bathroom for an hour. That's why, you know.
Absolutely. Tell him again.
What you're doing.
His name is Brett, Briar. He's watching right now.
I know what you're doing, Brett. I know what you're doing. And that's okay, man. Go at it. It's fine. Okay. You're okay.
Just wash your hands.
My dad used to do that shit all the time, dude. He'd take the fucking door off the hinges, and I wouldn't be able to, like, hang out my window and sneak a toke. You know what I mean?
Your dad knew what the fuck he was doing.
Yeah, but I knew what's up. He's like, I know you hang out your window and smoke weed, so I'll take the door off, and then anytime I see you hanging out the window, I'll catch your ass. You know what I mean? So that used to piss me off, dude. I hated that. You're right, BC. That is it. Take the door off the hinges, and
it only took me 17 years to figure that out.
They will mow the lawn. They will do the dishes. They will.
I went to lunch with my mother last weekend, and we were having a conversation about how she used to ground me, and she'd take the tires from my bicycle and throw them in the trunk and bring them to the car so I could get out. And then, so I jumped on the lawnmower and I drive the lawnmower to my friend's house.
Straight up. I did the same shit.
That's so gangster,
I would drive the lawnmower, and it was like, dude, my friends lived very far away, dude. It was legit like a 15 to 25 minute lawnmower ride to my friends. Like,
that's a long ride on a mower, insane. Man.
Well, you'd pop it neutral. Like, I lived in a very hilly neighborhood.
Smart.
You pop it neutral, you could roll that bitch down, and
you get a little extra speed, and you save a little gas.
And you save a little bit of gas, and you look cool as shit too, because you're flying on that thing, dude. You're right. I thought I looked cool, man. When I got that thing up to 88.8 miles an hour, whoo!
Let me tell you, there's no point in your whole life where you think you look cooler. The dichotomy between how cool you think you look and how terrible you actually look is when you're playing VR. Man, you get into some super hot and you feel like the most badass motherfucker who ever lived. Everybody watching you is laughing their asses off.
You look so clumsy. You're like, it is. It's pretty. Yeah. You're shooting up in the air and like it's VR is
amazing.
I'm so glad.
I want to play super hot again, but I need to get into that Star Trek bridge crew.
Yes, I am very excited that I'm going to be starting my second job next month, and I'm going to have a lot more disposable cash. And my first thing I'm planning on getting is that damn VR.
I'm not touching that game until I play it with you two guys, and then I'll go in and we'll do it nice and fresh, and we'll have a good time doing it. I've been looking forward to that since Beasley. I think he told me about it when we were doing Beasley Thoughts years ago. I've been looking forward to that, but I want to do it with my buddies. I want to be the bridge crew. I want to take it way too seriously and have probably too many beers doing it. I'm definitely getting coffee beer special for this.
Yeah,
because I got to tell you,
I don't
the
drink,
new
so
gospel coffee beer.
It's going to be the greatest thing ever.
Dude, it's quick, too, Beasley. I am a complete lightweight when it comes to alcohol.
Oh, I trust
you. 2 beers deep, and I'm like,
Same. I'm a cheap date when it comes to alcohol. We had, at the festival, I was drinking bottles of champagne on the last night. and I was drunk off one bottle of champagne.
Mm.
Like
One bottle of champagne,
Sweet Dick Willie, when you when you don't drink, and then you do drink a bottle of wine, like I haven't had anything to drink in 5 months. If I was to drink like a bottle of just regular wine, I would.
Oh, it wasn't wine; it was champagne. So it's a little less alcohol than wine. You know,
I think I'd be fucked on that right now.
But it was good. Just classy. You know what I'm saying? Just drinking it right out of the bottle. It was.
You're a
classy.
classier drunk, I believe, too, when you drink champagne.
Yeah,
there's
absolutely.
an elegance to your
drunkenness.
Yes.
Do you wear a tuxedo?
No, but I had that fur coat on that you saw in
Nice.
that picture. So
that was good.
So I had like my like Macklemore moment with my fur coat. It felt so good.
I have an actual fur coat in my closet, and I haven't worn it since 2010. I used to wear it when Kate met me. She said she thought I was like some undercover rapper. Thought I had a whole bunch of money. She told me she thought I was a gangster until she started talking to me, and it all went out the window.
Then she found out she was right.
And she knew he was a gangster. Yo, speaking of Macklemore, should we announce our little thing?
Yes.
Yeah. Since we brought up Macklemore Thrift Shop, we got a revolver challenge that the three of us are going to be partaking. I have dubbed it the Revolver Thrift Shop Challenge. Now, we revised it a little bit. It was just going to be that the three hosts go to a yard sale, a flea market, or a thrift store with a $20 limit and buy the coolest item that we could think of. I say we turn it over to chat and let them decide who wins, maybe, or maybe put a poll out on Twitter. I think this is a good idea.
I think we'll do a chat poll
We'll do a straw poll. I'll research how to make one because I'm a total pleb when it comes to being a mod. Anyway, so basically we're gonna go to garage sales. We decided to not do thrift stores or any kind of
garage sales, yard sales, estate sales, things of that nature. Get out into the world and meet people and haggle them and say, hey, look, I see you got that little video game over there. I don't think anyone's going to buy it. Will you take a quarter? Start low.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so
basically, when they tell you $8 and
we're going to get a video game item with a $20 limit.
That's right.
And
not just one item, buy as many as you can, but $20.
So, yeah, well, like if you get a whole lot, you know what I mean? If you're like, I'll give you $20 for the system and the lot, you know, that's a $20 purchase. Yeah. We're then going to let chat decide on who wins. Now, we're not going to do it this Sunday because, to play fair, some of us can't get out to a yard sale this week. So we're going to wait until next Sunday.
Too much work.
Man is overworked right now. So basically, we're going to wait till next Sunday, and we'll bring our stuff on air, and we will let chat decide who the winner is.
That'll be the yard sale episode. And I'm super excited about it.
Yo, I got an idea. What if we do like a Secret Santa with it too? So we don't we're not keeping the stuff we get. It's only $20 for the stuff, so it's not that much money, right? What if we decide maybe we kind of just pull straw or something the night of, and then we send our kind of like our loot haul to somebody else on the crew.
I dig it.
So it'll be kind of like you don't even know who you're buying for when you're buying it, and then we'll draw like numbers to see who you send it to.
Everybody doesn't send all this shit to me. Okay.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Down. Yeah, that sounds good.
If I buy Chrono Trigger for $20, I'm sorry, I'm keeping it.
If I get Chrono Trigger for $20, I'm sorry, I'm sending your ass NBA Jam. All right, $5. But
I think it'll be fun. It'll be fun. You can't use the internet. You can't use.
You
can't use the internet. You can't like use like a used video game store. Nope. It's got to be like a wheeling and dealing kind of thing.
You got to hit the streets.
Got to hit the streets. It's got to be tag sales. It's got to be
flea market.
Yeah, flea market, that kind of thing.
Yep. So yeah, no brick and mortar. Haggle, $20 limit, and we will see who the victor is. Spoiler alert. Gonna be me.
I don't know. you know where I live, right? You know, there's a politician and a crackhead within 1 block of my house. You know, it's
crackheads don't count either, Beastly. I know what kind of deals you can get from crackheads. All right, they will give that shit away.
Tell by the coat.
Crackheads don't count. All right.
Hey man, you need some kitchen cutlery,
He's
or how
about
about
to
an Xbox One X?
Yeah, I bought an entire home for $20 from this crackhead. Like, no big deal.
You should see the carpets.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I think there's cigarette burns.
Yeah, and you know what? Feel free, chat, if you guys want to play along with us. Like I said, it's not this Sunday, next Sunday. Take pictures, tweet them to us. Let us know what your guys' pickups are.
Ooh, yeah, do that.
That's
guys.
a good idea.
Yeah.
Let's get chat, and we'll pick a winner for chat too. So chat will pick a winner for us, and then we'll pick a winner for chat.
Send us pictures. Don't cheat.
Send a picture.
Don't go into your brother's room and take pictures of his haul. Get your own stuff.
Damn, you already built shelving for it and everything. Wow.
Yeah. This is going to be a lot of fun. And if you guys like what we did today with the viewer cues or viewer topics, send yours to revolvergamescast@gmail.com. We're going to do this much more often. We really enjoy including you guys into Revolver and talking about the topics that are important to you. So if you have something in your mind, you're talking to a friend about a video game or anything, it doesn't have to be video games. It could be, I don't know why my penis is so big. Send it to revolvergamescast@gmail.com and we'll discuss it for you. Some of us know what that's like.
Once we compile enough of them,
Not me.
you know, we might even be able to make a show. So, yeah.
Have you guys made any great purchases like in the last 7 days? This is one of them. I saw Briar looking like, what is that?
Yeah, why do you keep turning that fucking electric razor on during the show? You know how fucking loud that is on your microphone?
This isn't a razor.
What is it?
I'll take your word for it, but you don't need to turn it on to prove it.
Yes.
This
I agree with Wilson.
this is a corn remover.
What
It's like
now?
a grinder.
It's a corn remover for your feet. The only foot that's
Put it
been
on
used
his
is mine.
nose just now. He just smelled it.
Great.
Oh my God, Beastly.
Hey, let me just say this, okay? I love myself. You don't have to. The only foot this thing has touched is mine. God damn it.
Okay, fair enough. If it's your
My
own
feet
foot,
don't stink,
whatever.
firstly. Secondly, I have beautiful toes. I'm a Pisces. I take care of my fucking feet. I love letting women massage my feet.
I didn't know that was a Pisces thing.
Yeah, me
It
neither.
is. Look it up. It's called astrology and
I don't really
science.
know if I can say legally what my best purchase has been after I went to the festival. So
You won't lick it, Beasley. You won't lick it.
do it.
You won't do it.
My God. Oh my God. He's gonna.
Oh my God, he's forever unclean.
F's in chat. F's in chat. Oh my God.
Listen,
so
man,
yeah.
I've licked some things that are a lot, well, some would say, a lot worse than a corn remover. It's brand fucking new, and I only used it once. And my feet look like they were just born in size 15.
I bet they do.
Your feet are size 15?
Yeah.
Do you have to like go to a special store to buy shoes?
Yeah, you got to get them online. My brother wears a 17.
17?
Yeah.
That's like Shaquille O'Neal. That's like a gallon of milk inside that shoe.
I think Shaquille wears 21s.
Well, it's
I've
pretty
seen
damn
his
close,
shoes. They're
Beasley.
big.
Yeah, I have really big feet. Yeah, I have big feet.
Yo, Inner Black
Hope
Ninja says
you've got an
your
amazing toothbrush.
your next purchase should be a good toothbrush.
Inner Black, don't you be fucking with me, all right? Look, man, I love myself. Now, I wouldn't do it to my toilet paper, okay? But I've always loved my feet. I've always taken good care of them. I've been very proud of them, besides my pinky toenail, which looks like someone grew a booger and just threw it on my foot. Thanks, Dad. But the rest of my toes are totally beautiful. And I was in jail 20 years ago, and I was shocked because when you go to jail for minor infractions, they take away your shoes, they take away your outfit, and they give you a fucking jailhouse getup and some sandals. And when I was walking around in there,
Bro, don't hate on sandals. I'm all about the sandals.
Yo, if you ain't flipping, you're not living, man.
listen, there are flip flops in jail, and it's cold in jail. Okay, and so I'm in jail in a cell with like 25 guys. I don't know if these dudes murdered somebody. You know, I'm in here for a minor infraction. I can't remember.
We flopping, we ain't stopping.
But I look down, and like 90% of the guys in there, all their toenails are brown. I was like, I'm looking, and in my young mind, I'm like, how did I avoid this? Everybody has fucking fungus feet. If I stay in here, will I contract this disease? Will I turn
100%.
into a clicker? So I mean, I didn't know what was going on. everybody had fucked up toes, and since that day in jail, I've come out and I told everyone I love my feet. They're so beautiful because I was the only big black guy with pearly.
Did you just get scared straight because of foot fungus in jail? Is that your story?
I went to jail. I swear to God.
Not the fact that maybe someday you could be wrongfully incarcerated, for your skin color or anything like that. You're just worried about foot fungus. That's what
Never
scared you
crossed my mind. Out of sight, out of mind. All I saw, but I saw the feet, so it stuck in my mind.
That's hilarious.
I don't even know where to go from that.
Scared straight by foot fungus.
Hey man, if it works, it works.
You've seen those shows, they get up in the kid's face. Could you imagine that? You want to get foot fungus? Like, it's all up in the kid's face. Like,
look at this. Look at these toenails.
Look at these flip-flops. You know what I mean? Like,
it takes months of medication to get rid of that. Months. So, you ever seen an ingrown toenail?
Yeah, exactly.
I'll just show my kids pictures of jailhouse feet. They'll keep them out of jail. They'll stay on the right side of the law.
Yo, I'm hungry. What do you say we wrap this up and go get some dinner?
Let's do it. Yeah, especially after all that foot fungus talk. I'm hungry.
Fucking starved. I could go for like
some. You stay here and eat,
maybe some mozzarella cheese sticks, or I don't know, buffalo wings, or.
Ooh, you're doing no carb.
I'm having
not no carb.
Hibachi grill.
Mozzarella cheese sticks are not no carb.
Last night I did some collard greens with some smoked turkey in them, of course, perfectly seasoned, and I did Kate and myself some beef back ribs, and that was fucking amazing. And then she made some burger patties with some bell peppers and banana peppers in them for the kids last night. I took 2 of those to work today with some greens. And I guess I'm going to go out there and see what she made tonight.
Yeah, that sounds
maybe
fire.
some corn.
Some what?
Corn.
Corn? Thanks for watching
on that,
guys.
Huh? All right, bye guys. Thank you for stopping by. We'll see you guys next week.